Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa cast his vote at Sherwood Primary School in Kwekwe in the country's Midlands province. Accompanied by his wife, Auxillia, the president was well received by locals in the area as he walked into the polling station. Mnangagwa has shrugged off his predecessor, Robert Mugabe's statement that he would rather vote for the opposition than vote for Mnangagwa. Mugabe, who was ousted in a military takeover last November, made world headlines with the statement yesterday. The president told reporters who had been camping at the polling station that he's happy with the peaceful nature of Zimbabwe's elections so far. Mnangagwa says this is democracy in practice. Well, for more on this story, we cross to our reporter Mzwandile Mbeje, who's standing by for us in Bulawayo. Mzwandile, what's been going on there? Very exciting time today.
Indeed, Nombo, very exciting times. You mentioned something there that the former president mentioned yesterday when he was asked who he was going to vote for. I think one of our own had asked President Mugabe if he was going to vote for women candidates. And then he made it clear that he didn't think they were strong enough perhaps to warrant his vote, and of course even saying he couldn't vote for ZANU-PF, basically saying he was preferring Chamisa under the circumstances. But Nombu with me is one of those candidates of the MDCT who former President Mugabe said, well, he might not vote for her. So we're just going to speak to her now. She has just cast her ballot at this place called Stanley Hall at the Makokoba Township. It's one of the high-density areas. Mama Coupe, you've just cast your vote. I'm tempted to ask, who did you vote for?
Obviously, I voted for myself, and a member of parliament from my party, and a councillor from my party.
President Mugabe yesterday said when he was asked if he would vote for any of the women candidates, he basically said he didn't think you were strong enough. So did that dishearten you somehow?
Mugabe used to come to Bulawayo. He used to fill up the White City Stadium. He never got a single seat in Bulawayo. This is what he must know. Because packing people in stadiums does not mean that you have won an election. People are going to show who they are going to vote for today. So it is only today when people can stand up and say, I am the person who has been chosen by the people. Any other thing, because mobocracy does not vote, by the way. You can have mobs, but they don't vote. He used to fill up the White City Stadium. He never got a single seat after filling up those stadiums. So let's wait for the last person to cast their vote and for counting to begin. That's the only time we'll know who has won this election.
Do you think you have done enough to gain the confidence of Zimbabwean for you to become president come after tomorrow?
I did the best that I could. I've interacted with people, I've had conversations with the people, and I am very confident that they are going to cast their vote for me.
So in the event that doesn't happen, are you prepared to work in coalitions?
I am prepared to work with anybody. For me, it is about moving this country forward. The people of Zimbabwe have suffered for a long time, and they want a better life. That is why we are in politics. We are in politics because we want to make sure that we deliver real change to the people of Zimbabwe. For me, I want to see Zimbabwe moving forward. I want to see people getting jobs. I want people to have food in their homes. I want people to have houses. I want people to go into a hospital and be treated. I want children to go to school. That is all I am interested in. I am interested in a better life for every Zimbabwean.
We have seen the peaceful environment, compared to what has been happening in the past, it's quite different. So have you got any reports, perhaps, to the contrary, to the peaceful nature of this election?
Honestly speaking, because I don't want to speculate or to talk about things that I did not see. I've been campaigning. I've been going to people's homes. I've been all over. I have not experienced any iota of violence. I have not. So I don't want to be talking about things that I have not seen. As you can see right now, it is peaceful. People are voting peacefully. So for me, and if it was 2000, in 2000 I never used to sleep in my house. 2005, 2008 elections, we were not sleeping in our houses. This time around, I am sleeping at my house with no security. So for me, I think it has been peaceful.
So do you think the outcome, based on what you have observed and what we have seen, so will be credible so that everyone will have to accept when the ZEC pronounces?
Like I said, because voting has not yet ended, we don't know what is going to be happening. So let's wait until voting ends, because things can start happening. So after voting has ended, that's when we can then stand up and say, was it peaceful, was it credible, and so on and so forth. Because other things can arise, during the process of voting. So let's wait and see what happens.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you.
That was Dr. Thokozani Cooper there, the leader of the MDCT, one of the factions of the MDC. She has just cast her ballot here in Makokoba Township. And it's quite interesting, earlier we were speaking to the spokesperson of the MDC Alliance. As much as he was satisfied with the whole process, he did raise a bit of concern with the slowness of the process. Basically, in many of the voting stations, Nombu, is that it's those tents and there's no sufficient lighting inside. So people, perhaps elderly people, would struggle to see the names or even the ballot itself. And the other thing is that we have just spoken to the MDCT, and there's also the MDC Alliance. So the symbols are more or less the same. So it does get confusing for many people. So things like those are what really has perhaps caused some of the slowness that we've seen. But in terms of the environment, as people exercise their democratic right, as you have said, everywhere we've been, it's been peaceful. It's been very, very encouraging to see people of Zimbabwe really exercise their democratic right.
All right, Mzwandile, thank you very much for that report. Let's hear from ZANU-PF.